Hi. Now, before I start, I would advise that you're sat down comfortably. You've got a cup of tea or coffee to hand, or something a little stronger if the want takes you, because this is going to be a reasonably long video. What I'm going to do is go through the new gallery feature. Okay. Now, what I've done with this is made it hugely more flexible than it was before. What would happen before is you could just use it for your passes. It's only displayed on one page within the site, and that's your lot. You got your passes, your comments, job done. Okay. Now you can have multiple galleries. You can have them displayed on any page you like. You can incorporate videos as well as images, or just have comments on their own. You don't have to have an image or a video if that's not applicable. So you can use this for a range of things. As well as your passes, you could use it, for example, to show videos of how you approach a specific junction in your area. You could have it for a gallery for your instructors, for example. So once you've started using this, hopefully it will give you some inspiration and you'll start kind of thinking of other things that you can use this for. And quite an important part is that if you are using it for things like videos of junction approaches, etc., you can lock pages. So you can have these so only your pupils can go in and see them. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry can go into your site and just see all your videos. It's probably worth adding a couple on for people to see, to give them a taste of it, just to show the kind of extra service you provide to your customers. Okay, so let's get cracking. What I've got here already is a couple of galleries I've set up here. So I'm going to do create a new one for you now. So to do that, we go into this here. We just put a name in. Now this name is purely for your own identification. So if we go, we'll just call it screens. Okay, because I've already got screenshots set up from when I was mucking around earlier. So we're going to call it screens. We're going to create that new group, and there we go. Okay, so the reason for calling it or giving it a name, if you didn't give it a name, it would just go in as group 1, group 2, group 3, which is fine if you've only got one or two groups, but hopefully you'll want to add more and more. So giving it an easy name to remember, or to identify it makes sense. So for here, for gallery page, that's for the gallery page. You could call it a page name, you could call it, whatever you want. Okay, so call this screens. Now I'm going to edit the group settings itself. So you can rename it in here. This is the actual gallery style. Now at the moment there are three. There's the ribbon, the video gallery, and the picture frame black. I will be kind of calling these something a bit more descriptive, something a bit more useful, but for now that's just what they're called. So what I'll do actually is show you kind of just very quickly show you what these are. So if I go to my gallery page, now I've put this on the demo on my draft site here. So if we go into this group, we're going to edit the gallery group here. So we've got gallery page, and at the moment it's set to video gallery, so it shows like this. Now if you click to ribbon, change that to ribbon there. When I refresh this page, what you'll see is that it changes to this. Okay, now the reason it's called ribbon is because if you click on, if you select it as being a first time pass, which I'll show you in a second in the gallery settings, you'll get a ribbon down here saying first time pass. Okay, so that's why I've called it ribbon. Alright, and you can also, sorry, let's edit that again, and we'll change that to picture frame black. Save that. That's then saved. Refresh the page again, and you'll see that the images come up with a picture frame around it, so it looks like it's kind of hanging on the wall. Obviously that doesn't work at the moment the same with the video, but I will look at that. Maybe that's something I should I should look at, but I might kind of put a different type, like a TV screen or something around there instead. But I'll have a play on that. So let's revert this back quickly. We'll put that onto the standard video gallery there. Okay, and again, click on that, and that changes. And obviously I'll be adding more gallery styles as time goes on. Okay, so on the screens, let me just double check I've got that set up. I'm going to, yeah, that's what I want, is a picture frame black. Okay, so now what I want to do is actually add a listing. So I've got a couple of pictures here. I'm just going to use one of those just for the sake of this. When you're doing this, I do advise that you have your images somewhere where you know where they are. So, perhaps always make sure that your images are in the same folder, just so that they're all together and nice and easy to get to. Okay, I would also suggest that you name them something useful. If depending on the device you're taking them on, whether it's on a phone or whether it's on a camera, a proper camera, it will give it some kind of randomized image name. If you're taking it of a parser, for example, I would suggest you rename that and give it the name of that parser. It just means that in future it's far easier to find the image you're wanting. The file name is also used when you upload the file. Okay, so you can actually rename it here. So if I was to choose this one here, for example, so it's on my desktop, image 1, click choose. If I wanted to, I could just put a new name in there. You don't have to worry about the JPEG, but you literally just give it a name. So okay, we'll call that design 1 just to show you. Okay, the heading, now this will be obviously the title of the listing. If it's your pupil, you'd put their name in there. If it's something else, then obviously call it something appropriate. So screenshot of design 1. Past first time, as I mentioned with the ribbon, some of the gallery effects will put a special effect on there for the past first time. Okay, YouTube video ID I'll be covering in another video, but you can use videos on your galleries now. You can use, a gallery can be a mix of comments only, comments with photos, or comments with videos. Okay, but I will be coming back to that in another video. Then you've got your main comments here. So you put your again, if it was a parser, you'd probably put their comments in this section here. So design 1 is the newest layout. There we go. Okay, and here you select the gallery that you want it to be added to. In this case, we're going to add it to screens, which is the new one we set up. Okay, now below this you've got a couple of other boxes. You've got your comments. So if this is a pupil's comments here, you could add your own underneath it. Now this is very useful for not only giving more information to your site visitors, but also to the searches. So you can put a few keywords in here, perhaps mentioning a couple of areas that they trained in, basically, or you took them on to specific roads to help them practice hill starts, for example, that type of thing. Whatever it happens to be, you can add these keywords in, and that can really help with the searches. So it's well worth doing. And you can do this if you've already got listings in your galleries. You can go and edit these as well, and I'll come back to that in a little while. The snippet text is very useful if you've got a long main comment. What would normally happen is on the listing page here, this little bit of text here would be the first 150 characters of this comment. Okay, now that might not make any sense. It might not be, a great bit. If you've got a long comment, you can take a section of it and put it in here, up to 150 characters. Okay, so you can select the best bit of that comment, put it in there, and that's what will show here. When they click it to open up into a main page, into its own page, like here, then you would have the full comments, and if you've got your own comments, that would be shown underneath there. Okay, so that is how you set up a new listing to be added. So making sure you've put that on the right group. If you don't, if you haven't, it's not a big deal. You can go back and change that afterwards. But then we'll click add. Okay. Now what that does, that then uploads the image that you've specified and creates 3 different size versions of it. So when you see the main listing page here, it only downloads the smallest version. So if you've got a lot of listings, it doesn't take up loads of data usage and bandwidth and time, of course. So it's a much more practical and much more efficient system. When you open it up in its own page, of course, the larger version shows. Okay, so that's then added, and you'll see at the bottom here you've got all the images that we've loaded so far. Now, just a note, sometimes when you take a picture on a mobile device, it will come out sideways. And that's just the way that it's just the way that mobiles work. Not all the browsers actually take that into effect, which is annoying, but it's one of those things. So what I've got here are buttons underneath each image. So if this was on its side, you could just rotate it using the appropriate button here. Okay. If you want to get rid of an image, you can just delete it here, but note, if it's being used in a gallery listing, you would need to change that gallery listing to remove that image. So let me show you quickly how you would do that. Just on here, if I open up one and it's got an image already used, you would just put that back to select and save, and then when it's loaded when it's showing on the site, it wouldn't bother trying to load an image that doesn't exist. Okay, so let's just click back from there. Okay, so now we've got an entry for that, a listing for that group, and on here in the edit delete existing listings, you'll see here that these are arranged in group order, and you'll see that we've got our listing for the screens group at the bottom. It's a screenshot of design 1 there. Okay, so now how do we put that on the site itself? Okay, you'll see each group has its own ID. So gallery pages ID 0, comments only, screenshots, and screens I've got as gallery ID 4. And obviously, this will vary on your own settings. So to add this to a page, to get this to show to any page, what we need to do is put this little bit of code here into the page. So you can just write it out, or if you go into the group settings here, I've put this line here. So display this group on any page by copying and pasting into the page text. Now if you highlight here, it automatically, if you put your cursor in there, it automatically highlights the ID, and then all you need to do is go to copy, so edit copy, or use the shortcut key Command C, or on a PC it's Control C. Okay, and now let's go to the site editing, and we'll just for the sake of the demo, put it into the main home page, and we'll just put it at the bottom here, but you can put it anywhere you like. So I'm just going to paste that in. I did that by the shortcut key of Command V, or on PC would be Control V, but you can also do it edit paste. Okay, so now you've got gallery ID 4 on the home page. I'm going to save changes. And if we go to the site, go to the home page and scroll down, you'll then see, there we are, there's our entry. Again, if you click on that, it then opens it up in its own page. Okay, so that's the first part of this. There are some more complex stuff that we can do with this. So, for example, let me give you an example of Mark's site. So this is marksom.com, and what we've done here, Mark has made a gallery of all his instructors. Okay, and if we click on his own listing here to open it in his own page, you'll see what we've done. He's created in his panel a gallery for each of his instructors. So as an instructor gets a parser, he puts it into his own gallery. Now, where we just put gallery ID 4 into the page text, what you can actually do, and this is where it starts getting a little bit complex, of course. But if we go to the editing here and click on gallery, I'll just show you how this works and how he's done it on his own site. I'm going to get the listing here, so I'm going to edit this listing for the one we've just added. Okay, and in the description here, I'm going to put gallery ID 0. Now that's the main gallery. So what you could do is set up your gallery for each instructor. That would have its own ID, and you put that into their description here. Okay, and when you click save and then go back to the site, okay, click on, so imagine this is your instructor, for example, but if we click on that, what you will then see is that underneath their entry you've then got their own directory. Okay, and what you'll see also we've done on Mark's here, as well as a gallery at the bottom here, you'll see he's used the ribbon style. Okay, but as well as that, he's also got a contact form, because you can put contact forms into any page you like, and that also goes for adding them into your gallery descriptions. So you could have a page listing all your instructors. Each instructor, when you open up their own individual page, could then have their own contact form and their own gallery within that page. So you can see how this has become really quite flexible now. Okay, well, I hope that's been of help. There is more to cover with the gallery, but I hope that's given you kind of food for thought and some kind of inspiration, and hopefully that'll help you get the most from it. If you've got any feedback on the video, if there's anything I've missed or anything that you see is not right, then obviously just let me know. But I hope that's been of help. Bye for now.